get their soul back. So what do I mean by that? Everyone has these certain beautiful things about them. They have this allure, this characteristic, this beautiful thing, and sometimes we lose it. With something that's called soul loss is losing parts of yourself through experiences, through trauma, through relationships, through boredom, through complacency, through self-betrayal. So you lose parts of yourself. Like the saying when people say, if you don't lose it, you lose it. Who do you lose it to? If you don't use a certain talent, how do you lose it? Where does it go? We say things like that, or we say, I've never felt the same since Jeff died, or I've never been the same since after Michael broke up with me, or I feel like a part of me is always missing and it's always left with so-and-so. I feel like a part of me was lost with Jack. I feel like I've never been the same since this incident. I've never been the same since this car accident. I've never been the same since this situation. And what do you mean not the same? Or what part of you are you talking about that's missing? You're acknowledging something is missing that you had once before with this situation, but it is now gone. Soul loss through self-betrayal is doing something you know you shouldn't be doing, something on your heart, but you talk yourself into it with your mind and continue to do it. And eventually through time, you didn't notice that that part of you that you were self-rejecting or self-betraying, the part of you that didn't want to do that, or didn't want to be with this person, or didn't want to be in this job, starts to go away. It flees from you. You can look this up. It's called soul loss. I'm not going to get into it because this video is a little bit more than soul loss. But it's about acknowledging. And when you acknowledge that things inside you are missing, it's called mindfulness. It's being aware of who you are. And that also takes skills to learn and time to understand. I had that. Everyone knows that my story, I've been through a lot. But I've had this bigger than life presence, bigger than life personality, bigger than life energy. And through experiences, I lost that part of me. I became more angry, more quiet, and I did experience soul loss relatively enough for me to know that it was missing last summer. I actually have a blog about that on my blog site. If you look at cindy-mena.blogspot.com, you will find that blog. It's called Soul Loss. But anyway, through the years, through my relationships, through fighting, through arguing, through being in relationships that I knew I shouldn't have been in, I lost parts of myself that did not return, parts of myself that almost felt like I betrayed myself because I shouldn't have been in those situations emotionally or physically. Abuse to yourself, it's not okay. And if you think mindfully, I'm strong enough to handle this, I'm strong enough to keep going, there's another part of you that says, no, I'm not sticking around for this. And it goes. It really does go. You can look this up again, soul loss. So the story, two examples of people acknowledging that I had something missing, that people acknowledged that I had something missing, was when my sister was giving birth in the hospital in February. One of her best friends, which I hadn't seen in years, tells my sister, Cindy doesn't look the same. She looks different. She had this glow about her that's no longer there. She's almost like dead, zombie-like, and I was like, wow, I was a little bit offended by that, but I stayed quiet because I knew what she was talking about. And then recently I had seen one of my old good friends this week, and he said, Cindy, I noticed that you have, this is the Cindy that I met. This is the one that I haven't seen in years. Well, not in years, but in a long time. Because I think it was like last year or so, or a year and a half ago, and he said, this is the Cindy that I met. You're getting that glow back, and I said, I feel that. I feel like I'm coming back to my own self. With that said, you cannot, being in bad relationships or being around bad friends or doing things that you shouldn't be doing, whether it's drinking every weekend, whether it's going out, whether it's staying at a job that you don't want to be in, because you're comfortable, because you're complacent, you're self-rejecting and you're betraying. And the biggest betrayal you could ever do to yourself is self-betrayal. It's the worst thing you could do to yourself. You're killing yourself. And when it's self-betrayal, perfect example, I'm going to tell you the difference between your soul and your personality. You ever reacting at something? You're acting, you're reacting. And a part of you is like observing. inside you, and it says, I shouldn't be saying this, or I shouldn't be here right now, or I don't know why I'm with this guy, or I shouldn't be sleeping with this person right now. What is that other part of you? This one is doing it. This one's going. This one's reacting. This one's screaming. This one's enjoying gratifications. And this part of you is saying, I shouldn't be doing this. But another part of you is saying, but I'm doing it. Pay attention. Those are two sides of you. One knows what's best for you. The other one knows. The other one's just doing. The other one, it's thinking for itself. Your soul is saying no, and another part of you is thinking for itself. What part of you is that? Why does it get to do what it wants to do when you don't want to? Another example. Have you ever had things to do? You know you have deadlines. You know you have to be somewhere. You know you have things to accomplish that day. And you stay home watching Netflix, and you eat stuff that you know you shouldn't be eating, and you know you care about your body, you care about what you're doing, you care about the things you have to get done. But there's another part of you that says, no, I'm going to watch Netflix. But a part of you says, I want to do this. I have to get these things done. And then another part of you says, no, I want to have sex. The other part of you says, I shouldn't be drinking. I'm working out. And another part of you says, I'm going to eat this cake and I'm going to drink anyway. And it's like a fight within yourself. Which one is you for real, and which is the other one doing whatever it wants to do with you? Ego. Kill the ego. Your soul knows what it is. Your soul understands. What you have to do is take this outside you. It's out here doing and acting and wanting to eat ice cream and wanting to sleep with people and wanting to drink and wanting to do things that everything you're not supposed to be doing. That out of control you. Bring it back. Bring it to yourself. Bring it inward. Because it has to answer to your soul. And your soul is the one that decides where that's going to be doing. Your soul, your soul is on your body. Your ego is a personality that is made up. Because people say you can't change or people don't change. I don't believe that. I am a strong advocate, a strong example that people can change. Decide who you want to be and do it. The same thing as any career successes that you want in your life. You decide that you want to be a lawyer, you go to law school, you do everything that you have to do to become a lawyer. Decide who you want to be. And who you decide you want to be is already within you. Just like when the Bible says the dreams in your heart. The dreams in your heart weren't accidentally put there. The dreams in your heart are there for a reason. That's who you are. That's a part of you that wants to do these things, that wants to be these things. And that's there. That's yours. That's what your soul knows. And then you say, oh, well, that's too hard, and you go do this job. And oh, that might be too difficult, so you go do that job or date this kind of person because the guy that you wanted may not happen. Now, understand where you're thinking from, your mind and your soul. So you might want a guy because of finance reasons or because of all these oblivious external things, right? That's also self-betrayal, self-rejection. But if you really take time to go within and really know you deserve this kind of guy, you deserve this kind of love, you want this kind of life, that's a decision. That's something that's already inside you. And because you want it, because it's inside you, that means it is capable of, being achieved. So my thing is, we go on to do these things, self-betray ourselves all the time through our ego, and we ignore our souls. And our soul is actually who we are. Personality is who you think you are. What your experiences have made you, your walls, your psychological barriers you built to protect you. These are not real things. These are things that you could fix and change, but it takes work. Decide who you want to be. I want to be more responsible. I want to accomplish more things. I want to have more self-respect. I want to be more modest. I want to have more humility. I want to be more dedicated. I want to be more committed. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better wife. I want to be a better listener. I want to be a better friend. I want to have skills of resilience. I want to have self-confidence. These are things that we don't have and we want them because it's in our heart to want them, because that's who we are. We have the right to want these things, and we have the right to then go for it. We have to decide who we want to be. Decide that you no longer want to be a jealous person. Decide that you no longer want to be a hater. Decide that you no longer want to be a dishonest person. Decide that you want to be a righteous person. You decide. Now, the decision is made. The work is what we say, oh, I don't want to do that. It's not going to be easy. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not going to sell you dreams. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to happen overnight. It took me years. It took me years. And still then, I've overcame a lot of things. And then when I say, oh, I overcame all of that, Then a whole new comes in. Oh God, I want to be all this too. I want to obtain these skills now. I unbecame everything that I knew was not me and I did not want to have or own. And now there's things that I want to be and have. And now that I've emptied out the things that I don't want, I am able to start looking for the skills and the traits that I want. And I'm starting to work on it. I work on it by reading books about it. I work on it by surrounding me around people who have those traits. I work on it by praying. God, you cannot do it by yourself. Let me tell you right now, it is impossible. Prayer, God, asking. Now, when you ask for prayer, it's not going to come here. It's not a physical item. Sometimes it won't come physical. Car, wife, these are obtainable physical materialistic things. Sometimes if you say, I want to be more responsible, you will be sent experiences. You will be sent situations. You will be put in predicaments to obtain those skills. They may be uncomfortable predicaments. They may be great promotions. They may be great experiences. They may be great opportunities. They may be really bad situations, really oppressed places. It is pushing you. It is beating you up a little bit, or it's coming to you so that you're able to overcome this skill, obtain this thing. So when you pray to be self-resilient, oh yeah, you're gonna get things that are gonna make you self-resilient. When you ask or you pray for self-responsibility, you might get a lot of things you gotta be responsible for, and the only the option you have is to do these things, and it will be life or death in certain circumstances. Metaphorically, it might be. And this is how you obtain those skills. How do you get your soul lost back? When you start to be honest with yourself, when you start to respect yourself, when you start to stop betraying yourself, when you start to listen to that other part of you that's looking from, that's observing everything else that this part of you is doing, and this one's like, oh, that's not who I am, but I'm gonna do it anyway. When you start to pay attention, when you start to go inward, listen to me. Listen, the soul's talking. When you start to go inward and listen to that part of your soul, when you start to listen, when you start to being mindful, when you're talking. Sometimes you ever had the part where you were just talking. That happened to me so many times. And there's things that I don't want to say, but it's just coming out like diarrhea. And I'm talking and I'm like, later on, why did I say that? Why did I say that to this person? And as I was doing it, I knew I shouldn't have been saying it. Mindfulness. Practice mindfulness. It's on YouTube. There's so many mindfulness meditations that you can study. There's so many books you can read. There's so much, even if you can't afford those things and you don't, there's so much things on Google you can learn to practice mindfulness. This is important. This is not a joke. Who you are, it's more important. As much as your successes and cars and wives and money and fame are important to you to obtain, as much as those external things are important, there's an internal part of you that's not successful. Not successful in itself. It has not reached its potential. Just like you're externally reaching potentials to your successes, there's an internal you that you have to also. Your soul is here for evolution. Your soul is here to grow. Your soul is to adapt, to change, to survive. The strongest survive. Your soul is the learner, the doer, the experiencer, the changer. It is the bigger part of you, the higher I am, the place where God resides. It's the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's inside you. What are we talking about when we say that? It's in the Bible. I don't know if you're Christian, a Catholic, spiritual, metaphysics, quantum physics. I believe in all those things. There's a law to these things. Whatever part of you your beliefs is, there's a part of you that's inside and you know it. And you know it when you silence your mind and you listen to that other part of you, the part of you that knows. This personality and ego that you keep defending, that you keep protecting, the people that you keep dating to gratify this ego, though that thing, it's self-sabotaging you. And then soul loss occurs there. You get your soul back when you start to ask these questions. You get your soul back when you start to go within. You get your soul back when you start to wonder who you are. It starts to say, oh, she's calling. Oh, she might need me back. There's parts of your soul that start to come back. And it takes a while. And I've cried and I've prayed. And it took me a long time. And I thought I lost those parts of me. And I got them back. And I'm starting to get my glow back. I'm starting to do videos like this again. I feel like myself again. And it's the most beautiful thing. And guess what? This building that I've been doing, now I'm back better than ever. before I was there, and I was a little bit scattered, and I was a little bit of a mess, and I had those things, but they weren't in order, or I didn't know what this was capable of doing, or this part of me had, or I didn't know how to use this part of me, or I didn't know how to work or make that to my advantage, that part of me. And when you start to miss those things and you start to lose those things, you said, oh my God, I need this part of me. That's something, a part of me that I had to work on. And you start to appreciate parts of you that you lost, or seeking something bigger. You know what you're seeking because you know it's missing. I can't explain that. Yeah, it's something you have to go internal. You know what you're seeking because you know what's missing. You know who you were, and then it's not there anymore, and something's off, and I don't feel the same, and I don't know what's gone. It's missing. When I was with Jake, I was this way. Now it's gone. I feel miserable. Start to ask these questions. What a part of you are you missing? And you can draw it back when you start to look for it. Start to say, oh, she's awake, or oh, she's paying attention, or oh, she needs me, and it starts to come back because it starts to find a safe place to come home to. When you're in experiences of drugs and alcohol and relationships and jobs, and you're betraying yourself, those parts of you don't want to come back because they don't want to be here. Parts of your soul are like, I don't want to experience that. It's torture. Panic attacks come from that. I experienced one. It was really one of the worst things I've ever experienced in my life, and it took me months, maybe a year or so, to come back from that panic attack. And it was because I was somewhere I shouldn't have been, and I knew it, and I'm so strong-minded that I kept talking to myself that I'm strong and I can handle this. And I was still minds there saying I could do this, I can keep going, I can keep going through this abuse in some way. And one day I woke up and I felt different. I was shaking, I was different. A part of me was gone. I felt it, I knew it, I was like shut off. You don't want to experience that. And I think experiencing that is what started to make me call back home. It's the part of me that started calling back home, calling my soul back. Practice mindfulness. It allows you to know who are you. It allows you to really know your soul. When you're starting to act or react or speak or yell or do things you're not supposed to be doing, and there's a part of you that's telling you not to do it, get strong enough to listen to that part of you that knows, because that part of you is who you really are. This other reacting part of you, it's disrespecting you. It's self-betraying you. It's making you your own enemy. You need to fight back. Fight back. Get your life back. Fight for your life. It is your soul. Your soul is the one using this body, not your personality or your imagined beliefs of who you think you are. And that's my talk for today. I really hope you guys understand what I'm saying. You can research soul loss. You can research mindfulness. You can research Bible verses of the kingdom of heaven within you, research things about the soul itself to understand, and how to take control over yourself, how to get your life back, you research these things, you learn these things, read the books, do the work. It's a lot of work, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you will never feel any stronger. You won't feel as helpless. You won't feel like someone else is in charge of your life. You are in charge of your life. And you have the right to fight for your life. You have the right to protect yourself and go for your dreams and go for yourself and get your soul back. Bye guys, hope you enjoyed my video.